I'm Jenna Anderson, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is my first episode of Dooley's Friends, where we hope to find homes for all of our four-legged friends across the Cape and beyond. So this is my premiere show, and I'm so excited. I have three rescue dogs of my own, Sasha, Lambert, and Frankie. And certainly they all come in different shapes and sizes. And I want to show that rescue dogs come in all shapes and sizes from different backgrounds, um, different situations that certainly might require a little more attention, a little more love, but in the end, it is so worth it to bring home a rescued dog. So I know you have a few questions. What will Dooley's friends do, and who is Dooley? So let me first tell you a little bit about Dooley. Dooley came to us when his former family decided they no longer wanted him, and they were giving him up at the age of 11. I was called to foster him, um, brought him home. And within an hour, my husband was saying, nobody will love Dooley more than we ever will. So we kept him, and he became just the heart and soul of our family. Unfortunately, Dooley passed away last August when he was 16, after giving us so many years of love and laughter. Dooley never met a person, a dog, a cat, anybody that he did not love. Dooley loved everybody. And so when we were looking for a name for this show, naturally, Dooley's Friends just fit. The other question is, what will Dooley's Friends do? So Dooley's Friends will showcase a dog that is available for foster or adoption. You'll be able to see the dog, in some cases, meet the dog virtually, and we'll give you all sorts of information so that you can follow up with the organization to learn more about the dog that we feature. So today we're going to be featuring a fabulous dog named Bindi. Bindi has been through a lot, has had a tough life, but has been welcomed into a rescue organization with open arms. And they are looking to find the perfect home for Bindi today. So stay tuned and you can learn a little bit more about Bindi. All right, so we are joined today by my friend Megan Hanley, and she has her own organization called A Place for Ace. So welcome, Megan. So glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me and for
Ab-
Ace.
Absolutely.
Thank you. He's asleep behind me.
Oh, good. Maybe he'll make an appearance. I know, I know you're thinking he might, and I know you've got some dogs back there as well. So if there's any guest appearances or guest barks, that's good with us on this show. So, Megan, wanted to talk to you a little bit about your great organization, and then I know you have a dog that we can feature and talk about today. So we'll move on to Miss Bindi after this. But tell us a little bit about A Place for Ace and how it started, and kind of a little background there.
Sure. So in 2015, I don't know if you remember, there was a severe flooding catastrophe in Louisiana.
Hmm.
I went down to Louisiana for a disaster relief mission with my friend Katie. And it was a huge culture shock to see
Wow.
how the dogs lived down there, how they were treated.
Yeah.
Um, it almost seemed like it was a completely different world. And
Mhm.
so that was an eye opener for me. And I knew that I needed to do something.
Mhm.
I mean, these were dogs that were roaming free on the highway, not neutered or spayed, producing multiple litters that then lived their life,
Wow.
out in the elements, no food, no medical care. I remember in Louisiana, we drove by multiple deceased dogs, even outside of the flooded areas. And that was just the way of life for these dogs, was to just roam the streets, and they didn't have a safe home. So
Mhm.
I came back to Boston, and I remember I had to take a few days off work to just process everything that I had seen.
I bet.
I started researching how to start a nonprofit, Started thinking about names. Of course, it would be named after my own dog, who's our mascot. And it took about a year and a half to file the IRS paperwork and the paperwork with the state of Massachusetts. And then in 2018, we became official and we started slowly pulling dogs one by one from South Texas.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And so tell me now a little bit about what your organization looks like. You're all volunteer based, is that correct?
That's correct. We are extremely fortunate that we have people volunteering for us. I mean, they are giving their blood, sweat, and tears to this passion project. These
Yeah.
are people who work 9 to 5 jobs and then immediately log on and spend another 8 hours, trying to coordinate to get the dogs up here. And we have a very loyal team. The same 5 people have been with us since the beginning, and I'm very
Wow.
grateful for their help.
Wow, absolutely. I love how you say passion project because it absolutely is a passion project, and I see people like you and your team and I've had the good fortune of interacting with your team, and we can talk a little bit more about that later, but I fostered little Frankie from
Frankie,
Megan and a place for Ace. We did a foster fail with Mr. Frank.
you failed
Um,
big time.
It's true. But I dealt with your team. I actually also, I don't know if you remember, fostered Chance. I only had him for hours. I picked him up and brought him right to his family, and they were a match. And he was a beautiful dog. But to your point, you and your volunteers were just incredible. I dealt with Joe and KJ, and they were just unbelievable. So
They're
big.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So big shout out to you and your team and your passion project for sure.
Hi, team. Jill, Becky, Joe, Susan. Those are
Yeah,
my VIPs.
that's awesome. Yeah, hi team. Um, so we're going to talk again a little bit later about how people can join and foster for you. But talk to me a little bit more about how far reaching does your organization go? I know I'm here on the Cape, and was fostering Frankie down here for you. So where are your fosters located? Where is your network located?
So our network in Massachusetts is pretty far reaching. We have fosters out in Western Massachusetts near Worcester. Like you said, we have them on the Cape. The only requirement is that you be a resident of Massachusetts. We will find a way to get the dog to you, even if you are a few hours. I'm located in Boston, but we will always make it work. So if you're somebody who lives in Massachusetts and you want to be part of a life-saving mission, go to our website, aplaceforace.org, and send us a foster application. When the shelters down south ask us to take a dog, we can't say yes unless we have a spot in Massachusetts that dog can go to. So
Wow.
we've actually had to turn down a few dogs because we didn't have enough foster homes in Massachusetts. So
Yeah.
when you really let that sink in, fosters are the backbone of this organization. They are the ones literally saving the lives of these animals in the kill shelters.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. It makes sense to your point that you don't want to bring a dog up here with no place to go. But then when you think about not being able to take a dog because you don't have the people to foster, I mean, that must really hit home, especially when you see a dog you really want to help.
Yeah, it's tough. And, most of them get adopted fairly quickly, but we can say that right now our biggest need
Mhm.
is for a larger network of fosters in Massachusetts who are open to a wide range of behaviors.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that because we have a dog in need of a home right now, but everyone wants to foster cute puppies.
Yeah.
Puppies are actually the hardest because they're
Yeah.
not potty
They,
trained.
they are. They
They're
are.
up all
We don't
night.
go for the seniors. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I know. I know. The puppies get you. They'll get
Puppies
you the
get you.
heartstrings, right? But then you're like, oh,
So what about the 10-year-old dog,
right.
that needs a
Exactly.
spot? So
Exactly. And that's another thing I love about your organization is it truly is equal opportunity, and you really do take some dogs that might otherwise not make it out of the shelter. And that's an incredible thing that I have seen you do for years. And
thank you.
um, Want to just quickly also plug Megan on Facebook, on social media. So you can follow her there on A Place for Ace on Facebook, correct?
Correct. And we have an
Okay,
Instagram page as well for those who prefer Instagram.
great. Also, same handle, A Place for Ace.
A Place for Ace. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, terrific. So let's move on. I know we have a dog that we're going to talk about today, Bindi. So tell us a little bit about Bindi.
Sure. So Bindi is a 7-year-old Chihuahua mix from Texas.
Mm,
She was dumped, so that means the owner just gave up on her, didn't want her anymore, and kind of just dumped her on whoever. And we found her.
mm,
She has been in foster care in Massachusetts for a little while now. She is a sweet, sweet dog, but like so many of the dogs we pull, she has some level of trauma and abuse that she has suffered.
mhm.
And it's really difficult for dogs because, they can't go to a therapist and talk it out. This
Yeah,
is the trauma and abuse manifests sometimes in fearful behaviors.
yeah.
And so Bindi is very sweet.
Mhm,
And once she attaches to you, she'll be your best friend. She'll
yeah,
always want to be on your lap. But when she meets new people, she's a little bit fearful. And so
mhm,
we're looking for an adopter that will go very slow with her.
yeah,
Not take her on road trips right away, just
mhm,
kind of have her lay low, let her acclimate to her surroundings. Because she is a senior,
mhm,
she sometimes will have accidents in the house. It doesn't happen all the time,
mhm.
but someone who's patient and prepared for that. Of course, there are things that you can do to minimize the accidents. You can use, people laugh at this, but there are dog diapers that you can use.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Um, Pads you can put on your floor. And
yeah,
so we're looking for a unique adopter who
mhm,
has the patience and commitment. She's never had a decent home.
mhm.
And she deserves a home at this point to live out her golden years.
Absolutely. You just said a few things that just hit home. We were just talking earlier about puppies and how they're not trained and have accidents, and how we kind of, or I should say, culture is kind of fine. They're a puppy, but it's not okay as they age. And that's it's just not true. We see there was this kind of, I don't want to say it wasn't a meme going around, but it was, I don't know if you've seen it, Megan. It's this little saying, I guess you would say, about adopting a shelter dog or a rescue dog, and it says, forgive me if I have an accident on your floor. I've been in, I've never had a home, or forgive me for doing this. I've been living in a concrete cage. And, you know, we forget that, and we get a dog in our home and we think, well, they should just, now you're in a home and you just need to behave, you know, appropriately. And that's just, we don't expect it out of puppies, and we shouldn't expect it out of any.
No, and it's on the human to train
Mhm.
the animal. The
Yep,
dogs need guidance.
yep.
And so I think something that makes our organization unique is our clients are not the human adopters. Our
Yeah,
clients are our animals.
yes.
And we want to do right by them. And so we
Mhm,
really try to screen out adopters who have that level of patience and commitment.
mhm.
And Bindi will be your best friend once she gets used to you. And she's a beautiful dog, and hopefully
She is
this
a
reaches
beautiful dog.
hopefully
I
this reaches a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. I hope so too. So tell us how we would apply to meet or adopt Bindi.
Sure. So the first step would be to head to our website, aplacefораce.org. You'll find the adoption application right on there. So you would fill that out and it would get electronically submitted. And then it's a 3-step process.
Okay.
So you would have an interview with one of our processors, and then you would do a virtual home visit. Because of COVID, everything is now done via Zoom.
Yes,
And then the third step would be, if the adopter requires it, a meet and greet. So the adopter would be able to go visit the dog in foster care, and see firsthand what the dog is like before taking her home.
that's
Um,
terrific.
yep.
That's great. I know it's amazing how much you can do now on like this virtually.
I know, and it makes the process go even faster because
Yeah,
we're not scrambling to find people to go out
right.
and visit homes. We just,
Yeah,
log on to the computer.
it's so true. I know. It's amazing. Terrific. So a place for ace.org, go there to check out all available dogs. But certainly we want you to go check out Bindi today. And there are some pictures that you'll have seen during this interview of Bindi as well. Um, give her a chance, I would say. Give her a shot. She just needs somebody that will spend some time, as Megan said, make that commitment, and she deserves a forever home. So be sure to go check her out, a place for ace.org. Megan, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Jenna. Say hi to Frankie
Absolutely.
for me.
I will say, surprised he has not made an appearance,
Me
but
too. I'm surprised Ace is still asleep back there. I must be boring him.
yeah, exactly. They'll be sure to make an appearance when we're doing something else later that they should be laying low.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.